God needs some Andrews. God needs some folk who don't mind saying, child, I may not ever be able to do what you're doing, but if I do my part, maybe it will enable you to do what I never could have dreamed of doing. I think about that every Sunday morning when I preach from this pulpit. I think about my own father, not seminary trained, my own father who put more money in the plate than the church was ever able to pay him. My own father who spent all of his weeks doing hard work, picking up old junk cars during the week. He didn't go to Morehouse. He didn't go to Union Theological Seminary, but he preached the gospel faithfully. Picked up old junk cars on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and on Sunday morning, the junk man took off his dirty clothes, put on his work clothes, and told other folk that other folk had thrown away that there is a junk man who will pick you up. When other folk throw you on the trash heaps of life, there is a junk man who will recycle you and renew you and make you a new creature. There is an old junk man who died one day on an old rugged cross so that you might have life and that more abundantly. I thank God for my father. Thank God for Peter. But we never would have heard of Peter had there been no Andrew. One of my biggest heroes was an 87-year-old washerwoman by the name of Osceola McCarty. I will forever remember the story about Miss McCarty. 87 years old. She spent her whole life washing other people's dirty clothes. Her whole life had been dedicated to making other people look good. She washed their dirty clothes so that they would look good at weddings to which she never would have been invited. She washed clothes that folk wore to graduations that she never would attend, but faithfully she washed clothes. Why? Because in the 6th grade she had to drop out of school. Never was able to go back to school, never got married, never had any children, never stood on the stage. Lived a very simple life, never had a driver's license because she said there weren't that many places where she wanted to go. She grew up in rural Mississippi in a time when it was difficult for black folk as they dealt with the brutality of lynching and Jim and Jane Crow. But through all of that, she maintained her dignity. And at the University of Southern Mississippi, all she did was wash students' dirty clothes. And then in 1995, because she knew that she was reaching the end of her life's journey, she decided that she needed to leave a legacy. And don't you know that this little old washerwoman who had worked all of her life on washerwoman fees had managed to save $150,000. There are some of you who make $150,000, but you don't have $150,000. But she saved her money, and she decided that she would never be able to go to school, but if she gave this $150,000, some poor black child who's suffering trying to make her way through the University of Southern Mississippi would be able to do what she was never able to do. And so she gave $150,000. And don't you know she inspired some other folk who had some real money, and they decided to match her $150,000 with another $150,000. They created a scholarship. Osceola McCarty went on to be with Jesus, but right about now there's some lawyer standing in a courtroom. There's some doctor standing over a patient. There's some businessman getting ready to start a new business. You might know their name, but the only reason you know their name is because there was a little black washerwoman by the name of Osceola McCarty who gave what she had. She was Andrew so you could be Peter. She decreased so that you might increase. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. My living will not be in vain. Then my living will not be in vain.